Hey guys, today is Friday, September the 25th, 2020, and I'm going to do one trade here today for an example for you guys that I have about $9,000 of buying power right now. I'd like to make about $1,000 off of that $9,000 of buying power. That would be a great day for me. That would be an awesome success if I could do that. And we're going to do another 0 day to expiration trade on the indices. And I think that today I am going to use the NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ is tougher to use because it doesn't have options that expire as a 0 day to expiration trade on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We are here on a Friday, and they do obviously have options that expire on a Friday today. So it works today. And the reason is, if we look at the S&P 500, here's the futures on the S&P 500. Well, that's today. Let me pull out here a little bit. Let's just go to a daily chart first of all, and look at a little bit of time frame. That's the futures on the S&P 500. Here's the futures on the NASDAQ. Now, it's a subtle difference. It's very, very subtle, but there's actually more stability in the NASDAQ right now than the S&P 500, which is crazy. Of course, what drives the NASDAQ is what we refer to as the monsters of tech. You know, there's thousands of stocks you can look at in the marketplace, but really, because indices are cap weighted, the bigger the company, the more import they have inside that index. Really, the NASDAQ index is driven by these 5 stocks, by Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Facebook. That's what drives it. And there's a little bit of a mixed bag there today. You can see Google is down a little bit on the day. But it's more of a mixed bag, really, than what we see happening in the S&P 500. And so I feel that basically right now, as we look at the day now, we can pull in now to a little bit closer time frame. We'll just look at today's action in the marketplace. It's about 8:07 a.m. The market's been open here for just a little bit over a half hour. But you can see that really since about 5 a.m. my time, the futures have been sort of stable to rising. And I believe that that's probably going to hold with the NASDAQ. Now, again, one other reason here, I'll just show you that I do like the NASDAQ. If we look at the E-mini futures on the S&P. Here's your options that expire today. This is 0 day expiration. And you can see that the implied volatility, here's at the money. Implied volatility is about 16%. Okay, on the S&P, which is pretty typical. But if we look at the NASDAQ, we can see that implied volatility is about 22%. Now, in theory, the higher the IV, the higher the implied volatility, the more expensive options are. The more expensive options are, as option sellers, you have the potential to make more money, right? So I'm going to, I feel like there's a little bit of an anomaly here where we have maybe a little bit more stability in the NASDAQ. I mean, it's not a ton. You saw the chart differentiation there. It's not a ton, but I feel like we have as much, if maybe a little bit more stability in the NASDAQ right now versus the S&P 500, but we've got more implied volatility. And so we're going to go ahead in here, and I'm going to probably start with the call leg. I'm just going to give the market here a little bit more time. I'm going to put this trade in at about 8:30 a.m. just to let the market sort of find their legs here a little bit. It was trying to jump up there at the open. Looks like it's selling off a little bit right now. So I'm going to wait here about 20 minutes or so, see what the market direction looks like, and then I'm going to put in my first leg of today's trade. All right, it's not 8:30 yet. It's about 8:24, but it's close enough here. I think I'm starting to see a trend here in the marketplace, and it is to the upside again. My assumption seems to be correct so far today, in that the NASDAQ is showing a lot more strength than the S&P 500. We're at the highs of the day. Granted, we're an hour into the day, but we are at the highs of the day. And this is the challenge, you know, that you face with this. Generally speaking, I would like to put in the strong leg first of the trade. So if the market is trending up, I want to put in the put leg. I want to put in whatever leg that the market is trending away from. If the market was trending down, I would put in the call leg. So the problem, of course, with that right now, you know, if you look at putting a put leg down in here, this is about at a 13 delta. and we look at putting a call leg up here. Now, again, that's a little high. That's let's put it here at a 13 delta 2. You can see the challenge down here. Man, there's almost no premium in that put side, or at least there's a lot less. There's a lot less premium than what we're getting on the call side. But nevertheless, I'm going to try to follow my rules here and see if we can put in a put leg on this trade. And I'm going to try to maybe come in here a little bit higher on my deltas, just simply because that seems to be the direction that the market is trending. And that would be about a 19 delta right there. It's about as high as I usually like to go. And again, I've got about $9,000 of buying power. I would like to make about $1,000 on the day. This could be about $700 of that $1,000 right here, if, again, granted, you don't have to adjust that at all. So it's bouncing around here at the mid price of about 225. I'm going to see what I can get price-wise on this. To adjust that here a little bit. Let's put in just the NQ, since that's what we're going to be looking at. And there she is. Replace that order. I'm going to come down just one little bit here. Moves in 5-cent increments. This would be about $633 of income on the trade. The market, again, still showing some pretty good strength there. Man, we should be close. We should be close. The problem, of course, is we're showing the NAT price all the way down at 50 cents. Order cannot be updated. I got to refresh this. Hold on. Okay, I had to reboot. That happens every once in a while sometimes, where it will just lock out like that, but I rebooted and we should be good now. Showing the mid price at 210, down from my 220 request. So I'm just going to keep following this down. I'm going to do a 205. That'd be $582 net on that trade. Man, market is just rallying so quickly. I can't get a fill here. Same deal. Not going to let me update that order. Order cannot be updated. All right, let's reboot again. Okay, let's try this again. We rebooted for the second time. Market is still up about 40 plus points on the NASDAQ. So I think it's the right trade here to get that put leg in. I just got to find a price that it will execute at. This would be about $531. It's still dropping. Where the market is moving up faster than we can adjust this. And so I think maybe I'm going to go ahead and try to cancel. There we go. Oh, it filled. There we go. I was going to say, don't tell me I got to reboot again. So it filled at 190. Even though it's apparently showing still working here. Let's see. Yes, there is the order right there. You did get a fill. Still showing working. It's but it's obviously filled. I filled that at $2. Looks like is what I got to fill on that end, which would be about $600. So again, you know, I'd like to get somewhere around $1,000 off of this $9,000 of capital. I've got about 7,000 of the 9,000 committed. I can obviously still do the call side without putting any extra premium into it. So I think I'm well along the path to getting to where I want to be today. I'm going to wait another half hour or so. I'm going to wait about the 9 o'clock hour to look and see if this holds and this pattern continues, or if it's going to stabilize, so that I can get a little bit better idea of where to put the call leg in. All right, I said I wouldn't be back until the 9 o'clock hour. It's 8:50 right now, but we've had this nice little rally take place here, really strong, and nothing but up, 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 and now we're starting to sell off a little bit. We were up 70, 80 bucks on the NASDAQ here, and starting to come back a little bit now. I think this is probably an opportune time to start putting in my call leg. I'm looking at these 11 110 level and 11 130 level. for my sell and my buy on this. Want to be equal on my contract size. I've got 17 contracts down here on the put side. Those are looking great right now. We timed those really well. Those are already showing a profit on the day here. Again, I put up about $7,000 to do those, brought in about $600 or so in income on those. I'm going to do 17 up here as well. A little bit closer on the delta, but again, hopefully that will be able to bring in about $500 or $600 as well on this side, and then that should still leave me. It should leave me some buying power to be able to get in and do some other stuff here. So I get filled there at the 175. There's that fill. So if we take a look at the overall position now, you can see I've got both wings filled out. I got the put leg, I've got the call leg in here. Still showing about, just under $7,000 of committed capital to this. I have about $9,000 to trade with. So I've got another $2,000 here that I can come in here. Maybe in the next hour to hour and a half, maybe 2 hours out into the future, and still get some good premium in adjusting this. Almost certainly an hour and a half, 2 hours from now, we're not going to be at this same level of up 77 bucks. It's going to keep pushing up, in which case I want to sell some additional puts, or it's going to fall back down, in which case I want to sell some additional calls. So I think I'm well positioned here. I've got about 7,000 tied up, $1,200 of income coming in, still a little bit of dry powder there to be able to make some adjustments as it goes forward here. So we'll continue to watch this here. I am a little bit delta negative on this trade. You can see that there. So if it does continue to push up here, we'll probably need to come in here and add some strength to the put side, but we'll watch it here over the next few hours. Okay, it's about 9:37 right now, and you can see that the Nasdaq's run up pretty decently here the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the last 20 minutes, it's sort of hit this resistance level up here, but it's definitely shot up quite a bit. And so because of that, I'm going to try to add a little bit extra on the put side down here. I'm going to try to shoot for something like right in here, maybe. Maybe even a little bit higher than that, a little bit more aggressive than that, since it's going to be a smaller position size. And just add to that to get me a little bit more delta neutral, bring in a little extra income, and use up the remainder of my buying power that I have here. Let's see if I can go. That's about right to the max that I can go. Yeah, it won't. Let me make sure I'm in the right account. That always helps. And let's see if we can get that filled. So I send that. Let's see if we can find that order here. Wow, like it is just running so slow today. I'm gonna have to reboot again, guys. Wait for just a second here and see if it clicks through. Ah, man, that is slow. My internet is just horrible today. I'm a little off there on the pricing. Trying to get 175. Showing a $2 credit there. That should go. But it's bouncing down around that 175. Oh, I get it filled. There we go. Got that little leg filled there at 175. I mean, you can see my connections just popping in and out. But that gives me a little bit extra there on the put side. And it now takes me to about my $9,000 capital committed to the trade, and about $1,400 of potential income on the trade. If we look at the trade as it is now currently constituted, you can see that it's not quite equidistant, but it's okay. So we'll just watch this here for the next few hours and see if we need to make any adjustments. We're basically out of dry powder. I've pretty much committed all of my funds. So I could close this leg and ramp that up. Could close these legs and alter those, but I would need to probably close something before I reopen something else. But right now, we're pretty well positioned, and I like those numbers, putting up about $9,000 of capital to bring in $1,400 of income. We are in the positive here, which is good for this early in the day. All right, it is almost the 10 o'clock hour here, and we've leveled off a little bit here in the NASDAQ, which is great. It puts us about, delta neutral. We're pretty equidistant on our positions here. I know it's hard to see here, but I do have, I don't know why it's showing. Just make sure it's showing all of these different positions from different accounts. You can see these different colors here. Sort of this orange color is a different account, which I have an iron condor going on inside of that account as well. But in this account, you can see I've got 17 contracts down here on the put side and 17 contracts up here on the call side. And then I added those 6 contracts in on the put side as well. I want to utilize that buying power. I think we've sort of found a top range here and add a call leg in there as well on that trade. My internet is just horrible today, and I don't know why it's showing all of my positions in there, but I want to add to that, and so I'm going to maybe add right here to that, and let's see, what do I have down here? I've got six contracts that I added right in there, and so I should be able to add 6 or so contracts here. Yeah, and it actually increases my buying power, brings in another couple $100 of income as well. So I'm going to see if I can send that. I'm sending that at $1.95, and I might have to let that sit here. My internet is so slow and things are going through so horrible that I'm just going to have to maybe sit and watch this for just a second here. Let me see if we can figure out. I might have to just even reboot. Let's try that. Okay, the trade is showing in here. It's showing at 169. I put it in at 195. Let me come adjust that down to that 165 level. That'd give me an extra 150 bucks on the trade. And I feel like I should get a fill there, except it's just continuing to drop. We're getting the market's pulling back here at the exact same time that I'm trying to get this filled. I don't know how much lower I want to go on that. If I go to the mid price of 155, that's only bringing me in like an extra 150 bucks or so. I'm going to let that order sit for just a bit here, and we'll see if we can get a little bit of a pop back to the upside. Internet is horrible here, but we're not even close right now. I'm sitting at 195 on that order, and it's showing 130. So we'll let that sit for just a bit. It's about 10:08, and we're coming back again here, up 113 points on the NASDAQ. We're still in the positive here. We got a lot of time, probably 2.5 hours in the day before that theta really can start kicking in. As you know, I was trying to put in this call leg. I just left it there at the $1.95 credit. And man, it's showing a mid price at $2.55 right now, still not executing at $1.95. So I'm just going to let it sit there. But right now, I think we're fairly well positioned as we look at the curve. Obviously, pushing closer to the call side than the put side. I don't know. I don't know why that's not filling. Right now, it's showing 270, 290, and that is still not filling there. So we'll see if we can get a fill there or not. I might just need to pull that off if the market continues to move like it is, push into those newer highs. But we got 4 hours still left in the trading day. Okay, 10:16. I can't even tell you how bad my internet is right now, how slowly this thing is moving. I had to refresh again. I tried to cancel that order on the call leg because it was up at 210 or whatever, and I was trying to fill at 165, and it had already filled. It just wasn't updating on my screen. Literally had to reboot once again, but I did get that leg filled and in. And so you can see right now that I am pretty maxed out on both sides, on the call side and the put side. It got about $9 grand tied up in the trade, $1,600 of income potential on the trade. My goal this morning initially was to bring in about $1,000. So The potential is obviously there in this trade. It just obviously depends on if I need to pull a leg off or not, take a loss on one side or the other. Right now, the market is continuing to push higher, but let's see if we look at maybe just a 5-minute chart here, give us a little bit better idea of what's happening. You can see that we're, for all intents and purposes, at all-time highs on the day, up about 125 bucks. And so if I look at my trade in the curve, you can see that's where I'm positioned right now. In hindsight, if my internet was working and things weren't lagging and I wasn't having to freeze and reboot and everything, I probably should have and would have taken that extra call leg off, those extra 6 contracts that I put on the call side. Probably would have put those down on the put side, but we're okay for right now. It's that if we look at our positions right there, you can see that the call leg is at 1100, 110, the 11,110 level. Just about 90 points above where we are right now. So, you know, we would have to have we'd have to have a 210 point up day, a 205 point up day before that leg started to really get threatened. We're at almost 10:30 right now, you know, 3.5 hours or so left trading in the day. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. So I'm going to continue to watch this right now, and we'll see. You know, it would be nice if I could move some of my put legs up. That starts to make the trade greedy, where you're now bringing the wings in on the trade. So we'll see. We'll watch this. It keeps pushing up to these highs and then sort of backing back down, but the overall trend's definitely been up today. So we'll just watch this for the next hour or so and see where we end up at. Just past the 11 o'clock hour now, 3 hours left in the trading day. We're at the highs of the day right now. NASDAQ is up 140 bucks, sitting at that high right there. And as the day has progressed here, my buying power has sort of come back as some of these trades have started to show a profit on the day. I have, I think, about $1,700 or $1,800 of buying power still left now in the account. And I'm going to try to use that to balance this trade out a little bit. And I'm looking here at adding these, at selling the 10,890 level puts and buying the 10,870s. And I think I can do maybe, well, let's see. I think I've got $1,800 of buying power, so I'll probably need to do 4 of these contracts. That'd bring in an extra $100 there. If I could get that executed at that $1.25. So again, internet is just running ridiculously slow. So there it is. It's sitting right there at that $1.25. I'm going to let that sit for just a moment, and then if it comes down and hits that, that's great. If not, I'll scale it up a little bit, because probably need to get at least $1.25 on that credit to make it make sense. Okay, it's about 11:17 right now. I got that leg finally filled. I was patient, let it just kind of sit there, and you know that I'm pretty well. If I look at the curve here, I'm about as well positioned as I usually end up being at about 11 o'clock in the day. 2.5, 3 hours left of the trading day here. I'm not showing really any profits here. I'm actually down $600. Put up about a total of $10,500 into this trade right now. Brought in about $1,700 of credit. That's up now. The extrinsic value on those positions is up to $2,200. That's obviously the difference between what it's currently offering and what I actually brought in. That's of course the difference of our profit and loss right now. But it's in the range, and it is usually, you know, up until the 1:20 hour, you know, maybe 40 minutes left in the marketplace. That should start piling in, that theta should start showing up in here. So assuming that we are not off to the races here anymore to the upside, we look at the position and my call leg is at 11,110. So I mean, about 90 bucks above where we're at right now. That's certainly within the range. If we look at the table here, you know, you can see that we're right there inside that expected range of where we could get in the day. Very conceivable that we could be up 200 points in a day, but we seem to be sort of, you know, stabilizing up in these ranges. We're not quite yet into that race against time. That comes at about the 1 o'clock hour, where we've got 1 hour left of trading and we're trying to just run out the clock. But we're getting close there, and so I think that we're looking good. Now, again, knock on wood, this is always the big if, right? If we can expire without needing to make any other alterations today, we're bringing in about 1,700 bucks on about $10,500 investment. My goal for the day was $1,000 on 9 grand of capital, so we're above where we would like to be for the day, if, and that's a big if, we can expire here at the close with no action needed. So we'll just continue to watch it here as we go into the close. It's about the noon hour now, 2 hours left in the trading day. NASDAQ's still pushing higher, pushing higher, pushing higher. Slowly, but it is pushing higher. It's putting pressure on my trade here. You can see that I'm still in my range. If we look at it in the curve, I'm still in the range there, but obviously a lot closer to the call side than the put side. If you look at the trade here, you can just see overall, if I close it down, there's about $2,000 of extrinsic value there. You subtract out the $300 open loss that we're sitting on. That puts us right at about that $1,700 of initial credit that I brought in. And we're still there, you know. The call leg is 11,110, so 11,110 is the call leg. What was that, 45, 50 bucks or so above where we're currently at. So I think that we're in the ball range and don't need to make any corrections. We need to be vigilant on that, though, because you can see that if I highlight the call leg, which of course that's what's being pushed on, that's what's being threatened right now. You can see there's about $2,000 of extrinsic value sitting there, and that is just about what is available in the trade. So there's really no value left. There's a little bit of value, but not a lot of value left in the put legs. And so if I was to adjust this, I probably need to do it really, really quick to be able to get out of sort of my current positions at about a break even, and then reposition that call leg. So I'm going to watch this closely here and see, you know, again, we've just been pushing higher and higher and higher, but it's been slow. And so the next half hour for me, from 12 to 12:30, probably going to be very telling on if I need to take that call leg off and try to reposition it, or if, as I'm starting to hopefully see here, hopefully there's a little bit of red there. If we can pull back down a little bit, maybe I won't need to do anything. So we'll see. Okay, it is the 1:15 hour, 45 minutes until we close today. And you guys might get what you've been hoping for today, which is I've had multiple requests. Hey, Scott, show us a losing trade. All of your trades have been successful. That's not the case with these 0-day expiration trades. About 80% of them, 8 out of 10 work, 2 out of 10 don't. And it's always important, of course, to understand that going in and have stop losses accordingly, so that over time you can still have these losses, incur these losses, and have a overall profitable outlook. So you can see where the market is right now. Again, we've got 45 minutes left in the trading day. We've pushed above here. This was about the 1 o'clock hour, about 15 minutes ago. We've pushed above that 11,110 mark. That's the mark that I need to stay below in order to stay in the cash flow zone. And so if you look at my overall position right now, you can see that, well, let's close it back up here. Well, let's open it up. You can see that we're through that 11,110 level, right? We're at the 140 level right now. We need to be below 110. So we're 30 points out of where we need to be. And we're showing about a $5,000 loss. Now, my number is, conservatively, I want to do a stop loss at 2 times my initial credit. You can go as high as 3 times your initial credit. Of course, that makes sense if you're winning 8 out of 10 times and your max loss is 3 times your initial credit. You're losing that 2 times out of 10 times. You should still have an overall profitable system. So you can see I brought in about $1,700 of credit. That puts me, if I go 3 times that, that's like $5,400 or somewhere in that range of a max loss that I should be able to incur on this. And so we're pushing that right now. Obviously, we're right up there. And so we're going to continue to watch this here. I don't think that our loss should get too much worse, simply because we are through both of these legs. We are through the short leg and we're through the long leg as well. But we'll continue to watch this here. Where's my chart? There's my chart. We'll watch this here and see if we can get a little bit of a dip back down below here. There's nothing really to lose at this point. We've already sort of hit that max loss area. So we'll watch it here for the next. It's 117 right now, probably to maybe 145, and then we'll see what we need to do at that point. All right, we're at the 132 time frame, just 28 minutes left in the trading. And boy, it's trying to work for us. It's trying to come back down here. That's our demarcation line right there. That's what we need to be below at closing. We'll get closed out. I mean, even if we're even close to that, even if we're not in the money, we're going to get closed out before that. So there's no way we're getting max profit on this. But it is trying to come back a little bit here. You can see we're still sitting, we're maxed out. We're through both of the legs. We're through our short leg and we're through our long leg. So we're maxed out at our basically 3 times risk of what we brought in credit-wise. So we're just here in a wait and see mode here until the next 28 minutes. Well, there you go. There is the closing bell, and it was a close but no cigar. That's the line right there. That is the line that we needed to be under. These are 1-minute ticks right here that you can see. Oh, we got close, but just not close enough, and we ended up with the max loss on the day. $5,700 loss on the day. And so I want to talk about that a little bit. Managing losses, taking losses. How do you know what's acceptable and what's not? You got to have a plan, right? And that all comes down to expectancy. And so one of the things that I know after doing these trades over and over again is that I have about an 80% expectancy. And what that just simply means is that I know that about 8 out of 10 trades are going to work, right? 8 out of 10 are going to work, 10 out of 2 are not going to work. And so the question really becomes is risk management, right? On the two trades that don't work, how much money can you afford to lose on those and still be profitable overall? So, I'll just show you a real quick example here. This is obviously very simplistic numbers, but I think you'll get the idea. 10, there we go. 1 out of 10 trades here. In fact, let me do that a little bit better. 1 out of 10 trades. Let's clean this up, and let's look at 8 trades being successful and 2 out of 10 not. There we go, a little bit better. So let's just say that we're trading with $10,000. These are easy numbers to work with. Let's say that we're trading with $10,000, and the expected profit is $1,000. That's our expected profit, or our potential profit, right? Okay. So 8 out of 10 work. That means that we've got $1,000 profit here, $1,000 profit here, $1,000 profit here, so on and so forth. And this is going to hit for us statistically about 8 out of 10 times. So what does that mean that we can lose on the 2 out of 10 that don't? Well, typically speaking, we're going to use a stop loss on these trades that is somewhere between 2 times our initial credit, 2 times our credit, or if you want to be more aggressive, 3 times our initial credit. Now, you say, well, I'm going to definitely go with the 2 times initial credit because you know, it's a less risk, right? Remember that that is going to affect your expectancy. So it's going to lower your risk, but it's also going to lower your probability of profit or your expectancy. But let's just take the aggressive one here. Let's take the 3 times credit. That would mean that if we have the ability on these trades to bring in $1,000 in profit each time, the maximum that I would want to risk on these trades is $3,000. $3,000, right? So I think you can kind of see the numbers there. If we look at that, that's about 8,000 coming in profit. That's about 6,000 in losses. That means we should net about $2,000 over on our $10,000 of capital, and that's 10 trades. So that'd be what, about 3 weeks? Is a $2,000 rate of return on $10,000 of capital in 3 weeks a good rate of return? Yeah, I think it is. And it allows these numbers to work their way out. So guys, this is the real key. Everybody wants to jump into these 0 day to expiration trades, and they want to know what the secret is. And this is it right here, guys. The secret is risk management. The trades have enough power in them that if they work out and there's nothing for you to do and you look like a genius, right? It's really when the trades go against you that you really see how good of a system you have in place. Do not let your losses get bigger than your 3 times of your initial credit. So there you go, guys. There's a losing trade on the day.